and just started putting, one and one together and just connecting dots, but didn't really know what was really going on, although she was alluding to directed energy involvement. And so he basically kind of carries it to the next step, and he's had people from the military and the Pentagon. I mean, he's worked for them as far as being like a contractor. So, and he's really he's a free thinker, and he doesn't really he gives his information away for free, So, you really have to go on and watch all through it to see but basically, it's a way of stimulating the molecules to a point electronically with a low grade, but a certain way of doing it to cause the molecules to expand and basically explode or change radically to the point of where what we saw was these buildings go poof.
Well, maybe, maybe there was a scalar weaponry that did that.
It's hold on.
Somebody's riding a motorcycle out there.
It's all part of that, and I mean,
it's technology. I never thought of it.
We don't even know about that much because they don't tell us.
I've always thought it was depleted uranium. I always thought it was depleted uranium, number one, on each level, that there were actual bombs on each level, because it was, it looked like a complete, normal demolition from any building that we've ever seen when they're taking it down. So,
yeah.
So that thought, all right, well, we'll have to look that up another time. Also, before we get into today's show, you also sent me stuff about Cathy O'Brien and the MK Ultra stuff, and I years ago I listened to a little bit of it.
Well, Cathy O'Brien, of course, wrote the book Transformation of America with Mark Phillips, and she was a Illuminati sex slave, mind control victim.
Right. But I don't trust her.
Huh?
I don't trust her. And
right. I mean, again, you have to look at this stuff with a grain of salt.
Well, let me just tell you why. I mean, I listened to her probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I've never allowed it to come on my show because it's too gross, okay? We'll talk about it, and everybody can go do their own research. But, yes, I believe it's happening and all that. But it's too gross and it's just too much. Well, when I interviewed that guy, Adkins guy, on his book, Battle Cry, whose son was... What terrible things have done to his son. He himself went to meet with Cathy O'Brien, and he don't trust him either.
Yeah.
In other words, just the same way that Oveson, who's a Freemason, has written the books on the founding of our Washington D.C. and a pentagram and the mysterious symbols on our dollar bill, and he's written a book on what they all mean. Long time ago. This guy's a Mason. They want us to know about this stuff. Cathy Bryan's probably job is to come out here and scare us all to death about a bunch of sleepers out there getting ready to go crazy. Well, I mean, a lot of this stuff is, I think there's a lot of sleepers, a lot of MK Ultra. Yes, I think the gangs are being organized today, being used by the goons, New World Order goons, FBI, CIA, everybody, are using gangs right now in every city to bring about fear.
Yeah.
And making
it's happening here.
It's happening in Mobile.
Like yesterday, I read about 3 articles about people being knifed.
Oh, you know what's on the front page of my Mobile Press today? That they believe it's gangs that are doing all this.
Yeah,
they're
tying it to the gangs, right?
That are doing these. The increase of violence in these invasions and all the stuff's gang related. Well, there's called gang stalking out there, and what we saw happen in Katrina. Here it is, front page. Gangs may be behind all the holdups in Mobile, Alabama. FBI is probing recent aggressive robberies as organized criminal enterprise. I mean, there's been in-home invasions like crazy during the day while you're home. Just bam in with masks and guns here in Mobile, and you can only imagine what the big cities are like with that. So, so they're wanting us to fear. That's why you hear Alex Jones, Butch Paul, and hear people like, if you don't defend yourself, you're no better than an infidel. And that kind of stuff. And they wanting us all to live by fear with guns laying on our table so we can blow someone away when they come in during the day. Yeah. I mean, they want everybody so fearful. But in Katrina, they sent gangs from all over, came to Katrina and tried to just stir up all the trouble there. And so that George Bush could get rid of Posse Comitatus,
this street is normally peaceful and quiet, and today there's this kid going up and down this scooter.
What
anyway, I apologize.
All right, well, don't worry about that. It's kind of fun. All right, now, one more thing. When I was coming home from my vacation, or my visit with my son, on a vacation, on 2/11, there was all this news about 9/11. I was shocked yesterday when I got to the airport and watched the headline news from the restaurant eating some breakfast, and all the news about the 911 people, and about they're going to get the death penalty on 2/11, on 211, about 911, and how they're trying to get the death penalty for all of them. And I thought, that is unbelievable. I told my husband, I said, today is 2/11, and they're talking about the 9/11 all day on the news. I said, I can't believe it. Well, maybe you can go around the back or somewhere.
Well, I have to pass them now. There's 3 of them, and they're. But I'm going back towards work now, and they're hanging out here anyway. But
let's hear your little testimony on. I'll talk about the 911.
A few weeks ago you brought up you made a statement, and it really it triggered in me, connecting more dots that we're all trying to connect. Yeah. And basically you said something about how the witches and the abortion clinics, and how the sacrifices, and just all that. And so I go, wow, that really is true. I mean, I know that, but I wanted to tell you what happened. This is probably 10 years ago, maybe 9. I don't remember exactly. I was living in Atlanta. And I've been involved in the pro-life movement for a long time, because I have to tell you, many years ago I had an abortion. It was horrible. I regret it. It was one of the things that God used to bring me to Him, because I knew after I know He forgives me, but you still bear the scars. It's still painful. Anyway.
Well, the thing is I've done many times on Sanctity of Life Sunday is have a woman who has repented of her sins and knows and understands, come in and give her testimony about what they did to her, how horrible it is, and how they just use and abuse and push you towards that. But I mean, then what happens to you afterward? I mean, Satan will really.
Well, it's a real.
I mean, it's one thing having the knowing right from wrong and doing wrong and having to repent from that. It's very difficult, and being able to forgive yourself is harder than the Lord forgiving you.
Well, and the grace of God, again, is the only way you can survive or just even get through it, because, right. I mean, I went through, pro-life, like a post-abortion Bible study. Then I started teaching it, and, I was involved and worked at a pregnancy center with counseling, and now I'm passing an airport.
All right, well, now.
Okay, next time I call, I'll just stay in my little truck.
Well, listen, I mean, you know what? When I was in college, of course, this is back before I was saved. I mean, of course, thank goodness. But, I mean, I helped pay for my best friend to have an abortion. I helped kill her offspring. And she's never been able to get pregnant since. And it just breaks my heart. Well, I repented to her, but she didn't really appreciate it. I told her I repented to her, and now she's gone through a little road journey she's on right now. So
yeah, I mean, there's no. What do you say? I mean, it just hurts. And when you come to terms with it, and some people don't come to terms with it. And it's like I said, it's only when I came to the point of realizing I was forgiven of my sin, could I receive His forgiveness and could forgive myself. And So that's why I was involved in the pro-life movement. So one day, we go down to this abortion clinic in Atlanta, and it was a clinic that did late-term abortions. And they would escort. Well, they had these people out there. They were called escorts, and they would kind of walk the girl into the clinic to protect her from us. We're out there trying to talk her out of getting the abortion. Right. And these people, these escorts, I mean, I'd only done this a couple, this is my first time, and they were kind of strange looking. I mean, this woman had green hair, and I'm thinking, and I wonder if she's a witch. I just thought of that. Well,
yeah.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I wasn't really cognizant of any of this, back then. And so I'm talking to some of the girls and some of the people there my testimony and how I did have an abortion, and it was horrible. And and then I shared Jesus Christ. I share the gospel.